And the next thing I know, I must have fallen backwards because everything went black. The next thing that's happening is I'm traveling at warp 9 down a tunnel, feet first. The tunnel is dark. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's light enough that I can see bits of the tunnel kind of flashing by. And I'm thinking, okay, this is unusual, not your average Thursday. And I came out of the tunnel, and I found myself in a beautiful room. I found myself in a room that was white beyond white. It was almost a glimmering, shimmering, shining white. It felt as if it was almost a living thing. The floors were glowing, the walls, the ceiling. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm not quite taking everything. I'm just dealing with all these stimuli as they happen. And then in front of me and to my right, I see a group of people. And at the front of the group of people is my mother, who'd been dead at that stage for 9 years, and my stepfather, Dennis, who had been dead for 13 years. And my mother, at the end of her life, was physically immobile, couldn't speak, was in a terrible state, had dementia, had no cognitive abilities whatsoever, and was confined to a bed. And she ran towards me like a 10-year-old. She skipped towards me, and she looked about 40 years younger. And Dennis followed on dutifully, as he always did. And my mother just began talking to me in her usual animated way, in her lovely West Country accent, and she spoke like a Gatling gun. And she was just telling me about spirit and heaven. And she was going, oh, so you won't believe, oh, the colors, the animals, the plants, the trees, the sky. Oh, this, and she was just, oh, I'm still in a state of what the blinking heck is going on here. Because again, I'm reacting to the stimuli as they happen, but I'm also finding that I can juggle about 20 thoughts in my head at once. I become extremely cognitive, and I'm very aware, and I'm trying to take everything in. And she's telling me about heaven, the spirit world. Oh, you just see, oh, it's so, you won't believe it. And poor Dennis is trying to get a word in edgeways at the back, and he, you know, as usual, he can't. And she's just so excitable. And I'm taking this in, and slowly it begins to dawn on me that where I am and what is going on. And at the same time as I do that, I begin to have a very heavy internal dialogue with myself. And I guess it would be like a kind of mini life review, because I knew that if there was a very faint door in the wall in front of me, and somebody inside me told me if I went through that door, that's it. I'm not coming back through. That's game over. And I'm looking at the door and I'm hearing my mother talking. I kind of close her out for a bit, and I begin to have this internal dialogue, which basically consists of, am I ready to go, and have I done enough with my life? And I scan back through my life, and I realize, okay, I've been married for 35 years, I've raised a family, I've had good jobs, I've done this, I've done that. My mother had spoke to me with her mouth. With this gentleman, it was purely telepathic. No movement of the mouth at all. I could hear his voice in my mind. Very, very calming, very deep, very resonant. I felt that I knew him. So my assumption 6 years later is that he was some kind of spirit guide. He was certainly a teacher and certainly a very wise, patient and empathic soul. Way beyond anything I've ever felt or imagined in my life. And he just said to me again, what do you want to do, Kevin? And I said, I want to write, I want to do this, and I want to do that, and I want to help people, and I want to blah, blah, blah. And he said, well, okay, then do it. And he looked into my eyes, and the next thing I'm awake in my hospital bed, and I've got a tear running down my cheek. And I think about 15 minutes had passed. And I thought, wow. But the weird thing is, when I was in my hospital bed, I came back and I have this ring around my middle, like a donut, and I'm in the hole in the center. And I've got this energy around me, and it feels phenomenal. It wasn't there, certainly wasn't there before I passed out on the bed. I've got this wonderful ring of energy. I won't call it light. I couldn't see it, but I could feel it. And it felt like just unconditional love. And this energy just completely resonated around my middle. And a voice in my head just said, it's going to be okay. It's going to be fine.